So for that we are going to the latest available revision of top 10. Yeah, SQLi of course is injection, and we are choosing bypass authentication. Yeah, so there is a page here, right? So login page that looks like that. You can ask for help, you can get some hints and videos. Right here, yeah, you see everything is quite convenient, and you have all the fingerprinting of what's going on in your browser, right? So they just feed you back the information of what's going on between the client and the server. What is the PHP version, what is your agent string, and so on. So we are starting to do something. First of all, let's just log in as admin and password. Okay, this is a normal behavior of the web application. They just get our input, decide on their validity, and give us feedback. Password is incorrect. What does it mean? That means that login is correct. Yeah, so root password, account doesn't exist. So we already have this feedback, yeah, that differs for the usernames and passwords that are actually a valid or invalid login credentials. Okay, so in this way we can already start collecting the list of applicable login names that are real. Okay, so this is already too much of information to disclose on the login screen of a web application. We already found something to report, right? But this is of course not what we are here to do. The first thing we want to put into a input or logging control in the form is some kind of special character, right? So let's for marker, let's use this test, yeah, and let's put a quote after it. Yeah, so string test will show us in an error message, if you will get one, where our input is, because there might be more than one quote in the string, right? So let's just send it to the server. So what happens then? Mozilla is kind enough to show us the traceback of this error message. Okay, so something failed apparently, and reading briefly for what's going on, we see some technical information where traffic is. I mean, the internal traffic of web application certainly originates from a loopback IP address, right? So MySQL tells us that, you know, this query, yeah, contains an error. Of course it does, right? Because it's not correct syntax in terms of MySQL, right? There should be paired quotes and done quotes. So we have that. This is rare, yeah, so it almost never happens in reality in production, but here we are here for learning purposes. That's why Mozilla shows us all the traceback and we see where exception occurs. So from here we already can construct a string to input in username field in order to get some kind of authentication bypass. Okay, so let's make our first attempt. Let's put admin here, okay, and then put a quote, and then get some SQL magic, and this will give us what? This will give us that everything after where will hold true all the time, because 1 is equal 1 forever, right? And see here we do not open a quote, we like close the one that opens here automatically, yeah, by design. and then we use 3 more, considering that in the end there will be this closing quote. Okay, so let's throw it at the server. All right, easy as it is. Okay, we didn't even need to type anything into password, and we got that from the second, but technically from the first thoughtful attempt to bypass authentication. And here we are, we have admin logged in with some nice command, got root. So that's it, authentication bypass by SQLi. I think everyone is okay with that, right? So it's absolutely clear, but we just tweak the user input in a form that basically exploits the application's logic that relies on the database response to a query to decide whether a user is successfully authenticated. So it just takes the credentials, and the credentials are then passed to the database, and if the number of rows returned is 1, yeah, and there is no exception, that means that there is a username like this and it has a password like that, right? But we are not going to check the password in this situation by using that input string, that login name, if you like, just because we already decided on the part of the database that everything is okay. 1 equals 1, and let's skip that. Let's go further straight to the admin window.